It is going to be vertical though is the problem, I think.
This way, you mean?
Well, I don't know, actually, maybe not. I just leave
Okay, so some of the first things I watch when I don't know a horse and rider is I look at the purity of the horse's gaits. Do they have a clean rhythm, walk, trot, and canter? Or, walk, jog, and lope, but it still has, the rhythm has to be clean. So usually the walk is usually the faulty gait. This horse has a pure walk, so you're starting out ahead there. Because the walks are the easiest gait for a horse to be screwed up with, and it's always a rider issue unless they're a gaited horse and their walks were destroyed because they weren't trained gaited correctly. So, and tension will make a walk lose its rhythm and quality. But this horse has a nice forward walk, so it's one of the things I like to see is that a horse uses its whole body in the walk and is happy to be there. So a rider shouldn't have to do much for the walk. And if we leave it alone, it's usually pretty good. So the way the arena's set up here is I've got the corners marked out, so that way when you're riding a corner, you actually have to go into the corner. And that's just to make riders more aware of what a corner is. Because I don't like to play air traffic controller where I say, you need to run your corners. If I have to say that 100 times, it usually doesn't get done any better. But when I put the cones up, it kind of forces you into the corner, so you have to turn your horse's shoulders through it, yeah. Just like that. And then in the center of the ring, the cones are set up to mark out a 20-meter circle in the center. So if you ride in the center and you do the cones, stay to the outside of the cones between B and E, you're riding a perfect 20-meter circle. And the poles are there just as additional challenge to make sure that the horse is watching where it's going. Boy, that wind's really picking up here. Yeah, well, that's a jump, isn't it? So he said, I remembered my jumping lesson. I'm supposed to lift up over it. He'll figure out real quick that he doesn't have to do a whole lot to get over these. So the main reason that I put poles in is so the rider just rides towards the pole, allows the horse to figure out the footfall through the pole, through and over the pole, okay? The whole reason for that is if a horse is looking what's in front of his feet and can adjust his stride and figure out how to get through it. There you go. So right now you can just start on what we call a 3-loop serpentine. Yep, go, and now turn left. And you'll go through the corners and you'll turn left and come over through there. So that was designed to be able to ride a whole 3-loop serpentine. You can ride more into the corner. You don't have to whip around the cones. And then just come over the black and white to your left. And then you'll turn right and go past E, and turn right and go past the other one. And just letting him relax, yeah. And then figure out where he's going. And if he leans heavy left like that, you want to help him with the bending around your inside leg and a little bit with the inside hand. So there, and help him bend, get your left leg into him there. So he doesn't know where to go if his neck is neutral, so you want to make sure you ask a little with the bend through the neck, and then using your inside leg as a supportive aid to bend him through the shoulder. That's it, just coming through there. And then be as relaxed as you can be. If you don't tighten up, he won't tighten up. Good. And then push him away from the right leg, a little bending to the right, and head to the next set of pulls. There you go. And then just be soft and let him figure it out. Good, there, see, he's already good. Good, and that was a nice change to the left.
Yeah, we're quite a bit better with left than right.
Okay, so go across the diagonal, FXH, change rein. So you'll go to H and over the X pull. And just ride him at an angle. They can take it at an angle. There you go. And then you're going to ride him into the corner, so a little more bending to the right, a little more right leg. That's it, support him to the right, good. And now go ahead and do that 3-loop serpentine again. That's it, right bend. That's okay. He's just trying to figure it out since you did jump him. He's figuring that thing's got to require more effort, right? This is where you as a rider just sit quietly and just say, no, we don't have to have that much effort. He's trying to be active, yep. And that's why we change direction and do this on the other side. He needs to be more reactive to your right. And you said his right was a little bit more difficult, so help him, move him over. So remember that a horse bends right behind the shoulder and then behind the saddle. They do not bend in their ribs. They're not physiologically built that way. So you want to move him around your inside leg, which means he has to bend at the girth. And that's where he physically can pick his shoulders up and bend. There you go. Bend him right. Help him push him with your right leg. There you go. Good. Now stay on the rail for a second. And see if you can just get that trot a little bit more regular so it's not so chargy forward and then slowing down. See if you can find a more natural, happy way for him to go. I feel like he's just a hair too slow for his natural way of going, and I would just allow him to be just a hair freer and see if he becomes regular. So regularity is important. I know it's those pterodactyl sparrows we have here. All the horses hate them. So you want to find the horse's natural tempo, okay? And the natural tempo is always different than what we riders think it is. But when we call it a jog, it has to be a natural tempo that the horse can sustain. If you have to constantly tell the horse to slow down, then that is not that horse's natural tempo. Okay, so Western pleasure horses are bred so they have a naturally slower tempo. And they have to be bred that way since they want to ride them so slow. If they don't have a naturally slow tempo, they can't train it into them. So, there you go. He just seems a little bit happier with a slight bit more energy in, okay? Taking that energy out. So this time, after you come out of the corner at K, I want you to go towards the X hole in the middle. Good. Then you're going to bend left and you're going to do a left hand 10-meter circle. So you're going to go all the way around, look at E. Yep, you're going to take that circle out to E. You're going to come back through X. Yep, and then look over your left shoulder to H, and then go back to H. There. So that's known as a shallow serpentine with a circle. Anybody who rides with me has to know this because I do it every clinic. It's just one of those figures that I love. It tells me a lot about the rider and the horse without me having to just watch. So do it again. Turn. Yep, go to X. And then you're going to do a left-hand circle to B. That's it. We're gonna do this a few times till he's a little bit more comfortable with stepping over that pole. That's it. And you're gonna return to F, over your left shoulder to F. There, that was much more relaxed and happy from him. So good.
Two at the end, two at the end, two up here.
And then you're gonna do it again one more time. So KXH with the circle. So this is a suppling exercise that helps you remember to bend and change the bend on your horse, and allows your horse to just get into the tempo and the relaxation of the movement. This is good. Super.
Well, mirrors are great, but they only last a year and then they just look crappier and crappier.
Good.
Or, like, behind her.
And then you're gonna change rein across the diagonal, MXK,
And we close them so they don't get.
and just trying to maintain a quiet tempo that he's happy with. And that you're happy with too.
They're clean mirrors, just different older.
Just allow him to go across the diagonal. Just stay really quiet, let him stay straight. Now see, they can easily figure out how to get over that super. And then we're gonna do the same thing in the opposite direction here. So you're gonna go from F to X with a right hand circle.
But I don't want to put anything up until I get to see, I have walls up.
That's it, a little more right bend,
I
yep.
don't want to do the walls like Marley, where it's angled. No, Marley doesn't do
And then you'll return to the track at the letter M. Good.
that. My loop rate. Going from, yeah, going
So
from
this is just
leading.
easy suppling without us directly going after the horse saying, oh, you need to be more supple and picking at him. We kind of let the figure help us help the horse. And the horse starts to understand the figure and they start riding it very consistently, okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so go ahead and do it one more time on the other side and then we'll change.
Okay, go around that.
Yeah, go do it one more time. Yeah.
But if we put them in the mirror, in the middle, we have to look like just put them in the end. So what we could do is have the different cameras.
And it allows you time to just sit there and relax and feel your horse without constantly trying to figure out what the next movement is. That's right. Super. And see, I see can you feel the relaxation that I can see in him?
Yeah.
He's just kind of going along and saying, yeah, I got you. There's no tension, there's no, oh, you were supposed to turn right to all the way to M. That's okay. I know it's a hard figure. And everybody here is laughing that made those mistakes. So come back and do it one more time. So you got to finish with one good one and then we'll move on. It's hard, yeah, do the same thing again. So when you finished, you needed to go back to M. So this movement happens all on one side of the arena. That's kind of one way to remember it. But everybody laughs because they're all like, oh yeah, we did that. Nobody's done this perfect the first time. Good, and right hand circle. Good. So you're going to come out of the right hand circle over X and you're going to go to M, which is will be over your right shoulder. So just keep turning right, keep turning, look to your right and you'll see the letter M and you're going to go through that corner. Good. Super. Okay, and then take a short walk break. And then we'll do some canter work. We'll see how we